today we're back here for the speed build, and today we're going to go ahead and create this 8sim starter home. So if you'd like to go ahead and download this for yourself, my origin ID is realthomastv1, but I don't know when this is actually going to be up. It might be a few days after this build goes up, or it might already be up. I'm not actually too sure since I am pre-recording at the minute, so I don't know if I'll be uploading it before I go or after I come back, so you might just have to wait and see. But I will come back here and leave a link in the description to the online gallery if you want to go ahead and download it. And sometimes what I do is when I know that the build isn't going to be up and I know it's going to be up at a different time, so for example, sometimes when I upload a video, I might not be able to get a chance to upload the gallery, the build to the gallery until the day after, so I'll leave a note in the description about that, where the link normally goes to the online gallery, if that makes sense. So just check there and I'll have some more info probably. So this build is done on a 30 by 20 lot, and I actually placed this in Willow Creek, and it came in at 33,720 simoleons, and it has 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And then for the packs it used all of them apart from Island Living and Get to Work. And then for game packs it used Parenthood and only one stuff pack, which is Laundry Day. So not as many packs used today, which is great. I know I have a tendency to kind of go overboard on the packs, and I'm really sorry about that. So today I thought I'd go ahead and do a limited pack build, and that's what we're doing here. So, this build, honestly, I'm so happy how it turned out. I haven't done an 8sim starter home before because I just thought it'd be like, really challenging having to get like, all those bedrooms in within a budget. But it actually turned out really nicely because I actually built this home after I got the new 1000 debug items update, which meant all the landscaping in this build was free. So I used mostly all the plants from the debug menu, which meant it was all free. So I had a lot more money to use on the interior, which is great. So as you may have seen from the thumbnail, the living room is a bit nicer with like a bigger TV. There's a nice big kitchen area as well. And I've also managed to fit in a PC in this build as well, which is kind of just in the hallway, which you'll see a little bit later, so I did that there. So it's a really nice starter home actually, there's lots of nice stuff in here. And the bedrooms are very, very basic, but that's to be expected for a starter home. So, the bedrooms aren't the nicest and most, aesthetically pleasing thing to look at in a speed build, but, I think you were expecting that anyway for a starter home, so... Bedrooms are very basic, but, of course, you can kind of upgrade that as you go. So you may have seen from the start that I actually kind of did this build in a different order than I normally do. So I think that everybody has their own kind of style of how they do a build. Like in a speed build, like they might start off with like the whole front of the home and then work themselves to the back. Personally, I'm one of those people that kind of just draw the walls around the kind of the perimeter of the build, if that makes sense, and then I kind of go in with the top floor and then I kind of carry on from there. But for this build I did it a little bit differently because it's such like it's just a starter home, but I've got to get so many things in that I did it in a little bit of a different order. So you may have seen at the start where I kind of got the beds out on the grass, so I knew kind of what ones I had to use, and then I went ahead and then sort of drew the bedrooms out, if that makes sense. I kind of connected them together and built the house that way. It's not something I'd normally do, and I found it actually kind of difficult to do it that way since it's just not what I'm used to, but I thought it'd be a better idea to do it that way so I don't make the bedrooms too big, because I have a tendency to do that for doing mansions all the time. When I come to do a small home, I always make everything way too big because I'm just used to things being on a bigger scale. So that just helped kind of keep everything at a decent size so it didn't kind of use too much of the budget, and so you'd still have some money left over, because I feel like it's kind of nice if you get this home off the gallery and your family still has some more money left over. So I think that I had about 700 simoleons left after. I think originally I had like over 1,000 left, and I thought, okay, maybe that's a little bit too much. So I thought I'll make some improvements on the house, like, add a few more decorations here and there. And I think I then went ahead and added in the computer at that point. And I think overall I had like around 700 or 400 simoleons left. And I gave myself a budget of 36,000, I think. I can't exactly remember, but I remember I checked a couple of times of how much money like 8sims get, because I wasn't actually too sure. I asked a few different people here and there about it, and I kind of just saw a common amount, and I don't know what that amount was because it was a few days ago now, but I do know that this build should be within the range of how much a 8sims get for a start home. So no worries about that. So you would have just saw there that rug that I placed down there is actually from Get Famous, and I don't know why, but it's so cheap. It's only like 90 simoleons, which I thought was really crazy because that rug is so nice. It has all these kind of really kind of old sort of colour swatches to it as well. And it also has that one, and it kind of went really well with the cream colour scheme I was going for, so I went ahead and used that. And it's also pretty big too, so it meant I could fill up most of that living room space, which is nice. We've also got this little back porch area there as well. I didn't really have the space to add a back door in, so you can't actually access that from the house. It's just like you use the stairs to go up on it, and you have to use the stairs to get out of it as well. Another thing as well is I used a lot of Seasons items on the exterior, such as the wall coverings and the windows and doors, because they are all very, very cheap. It's kind of surprising how cheap they are, all the windows and doors from that pack, and just some of the other things as well, such as the wall coverings. So I went ahead and used that for this home today, because I thought they all look really nice, those items as well, and it kind of just worked out well. That was a starter home today, so I went ahead and used all those. And now we're just working a little bit on the backyard area, so I wanted to go ahead and kind of utilize a lot of these debug items that we got, because personally I don't think I'm going to use these debug items that much, because one, a lot of the items are kind of decorative, and for the exterior, you know, there are some nice things such as, you know, these hedges and lots of landscape and things, but for in terms of like interior things, I don't tend to clutter my builds that much, so I don't think I'm going to get that much use out of debug. And to be honest, I don't really use debug that often, so it's probably going to be in more like limited pack builds like this, or if there's a specific thing that I want to use like a decoration, then that's probably only when I'll use it. So I thought I'll go ahead and kind of use them as much as I could in today's build, since it's probably going to be a while until I use them again. I think the only thing that I can really see myself using in nearly every build is the toy, well, not the, I keep saying toy cars, they're not toy cars anymore, the sized up cars that have actual nice sort of textures to them, and they're not all grainy and, you know, really low quality from a toy car being sized up. So I'm really glad that we have those in debug now. So I'll probably go ahead and use those a lot more. I was going to put one in today's build as well, but I thought, well, really there isn't the space for it, and it is only a starter home as well, so I imagine that they won't have all the really nice things. But I did also use a lot of these like little decorations as well with plants in, so that little kind of wheelbarrow thing. I also used one of the new like hanging plants as well, so I used that. But I noticed that a lot of the items aren't actually like they don't clip to the right things. So for example, the hanging plants don't actually hang from the thing, like from the roof, they're just on the floor, and you have to you know, put them up with the 9 key. And also as well, I noticed that the new like window planter boxes, those as well from debug, don't clip to the windows. Well, those don't actually really work, because you can't like I've noticed that they kind of clip into the wall a little bit. You can't just sort of size them up onto the window or like raise them up, they just kind of clip weirdly. I don't know if I get that on screen or not, but I did have a bit of trouble with that. So I feel like some of the items, just how they work for being a debug, and don't have proper sort of is animation's the right word with it? I don't really know what word I'm looking for, but they're just not like real items, I suppose. So they don't have the right mechanics to work that well, if that makes sense. So we're kind of just going around now, just finding as many things as I could to kind of fill up the space and make it as nice as possible with the debug items, because I really wanted to make use of those items. And the other thing as well with debug is that, you know, some items give you like a moodlet. So if a place is really well decorated, then, you know, you get a moodlet from that. But that's not going to really be the case here, because I don't think debug items will give you that. So now we're just doing a few finishing touches, just going around with the money we have left and adding some more decorations in. So I kind of just upgraded the TV there, put a few more little decorations here and there where I could, just to kind of make it, you know, look a little bit better. You know, some of the rooms are a little bit basic, but I'm still really happy with it. I also forgot to mention about like what types of rooms are in this build. So there is the parents' room, and then there is another double bedroom, and then there is the teens' room, which I probably say is this one, and then there's also a kind of twin sort of toddler bed as well. With that room too. So I didn't really want to personalize it too much, just to kind of keep it easy for you to kind of fit your family into it, but that's what I did as a basic thing, and then you can go ahead and change it up if you need to. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you here with the screenshots in just a couple of seconds. I really hope you enjoyed. In the comment section down below, let me know about what you thought of this build. If you have any more suggestions for anything else that you want to see on the channel next, that'd be really helpful to hear. Leave a like, share and subscribe if you haven't, and like I said, you can go ahead and download this from the gallery. My origin ID is RealThomasTV1, and there will be a link in the description to the online gallery if you want to go ahead and download it that way whenever it is up, and I'll try to get it up as soon as possible. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!